So this is from the best of three we played the other day, and yeah, I just need to get used to playing sets that are like very short, and that how you have like less time to adapt to certain things. That's just something I got to get better at in general.
Mm, that's
And
definitely that's definitely the issues with best of threes. Is I think best of threes really show for the most part how good your game plan is.
mhm.
Because usually in like a best of five, there's no bans, so you can go to stages that you're more comfortable on, so you can get either an easy win for momentum or get better intel. Whereas like in best of three, it's like, oh, now I can't go to Pokemon Stadium. It's like, or oh, I can't go to. I don't know what Falco's really banned versus Falcon in best of threes, but maybe like if they don't like Yoshi's or Battlefield, they're like,
Yeah, they banned Battlefield, and then they just focused on the smaller stages and the longer stages, so that they get more like stage control, or whatever. And that's the one thing that I just damn I hate. I really hate best of threes when it comes to like playing against really good players, because you
yeah,
just get fucked regardless. But something you got to get used to down the line.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
Let me just download these and put in my Slippy folder. Uh,
Yeah, mostly the matchups that like. I like to go over mostly in general is like Falco, Sheik, um, sometimes Fox, because sometimes I could do really good against Fox, and the other half I just forget how to play against him. And then maybe Marth is fine. I think those two are my biggest problems, especially in tournament, because those are really good tournament characters. So I just got to get over playing them in like best of threes in general.
mm-hmm.
Because I feel like my adaptation is like not as good. I feel because I just rely on the long con, and if I get into my opponent's head with my punish, then it's just over.
Mm-hmm. Um, all right, I'm sharing my screen now. Let me know if you can see it. Um, I always ask this for a lot of people because it's the one thing that usually comes up first. But did you have any kind of game plan going into this?
So I did see his VOD from me playing against him. I did beat him in a best of five, and he was stressing on how I would always do this one thing out of shield, and so like I would always nair out of shield. So I would try to do less of that, and I guess try to look for shield grabs, because I noticed that he was a very heavy shielder. So my game plan going into it was mostly try to whiff punishing and then try to like go for a grab,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully like try to not let him laser me as much, because I know he's a heavy laser and he would go under platform. So I would try to prevent that.
Okay.
I know it's not very like concrete, I feel,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's what that was for. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not very concrete. Plus, also, it seems a lot. It seems a lot like too much almost. You know what I mean?
right.
Instead of it, making it more simple
Hmm.
and like avoiding certain things, like how I would look at this matchup or how I look at this matchup, it's like I'm just trying to avoid Shine. Because Shine just gets Falco everything. If Falco can't get a Shine, then he can't, like, Falcon just wins the matchup in my opinion. Like, that straight up. Like, as long as you have
Right.
equal
Yeah.
as long as you're getting decent punishes, like, you just win. And you could get like one good punish where you get like a double knee, and you just like or a gimp. Like, it's as long as you don't give Falco what he wants with Shine, you're pretty much fine the matchup. But obviously that's easier said than done. But how I like to think of it is the ways in which Falco gets Shine, right? And a lot of it for people is either they're acting out of shield predictably or at bad timings, like at a disadvantage. They're trying to act like by like the Falco's approaching them, and they're trying to almost like reactively act or proactively act. I don't know necessarily which. To stuff Falco, and they're too late, and then they're in air and they get lasered or they get nared and then they get shined, right? So that's another instance. Um, but those are like the two main spots I find that a lot of Falcons get hit, and I bet you any money if we watch this within like the first probably like right there, you're trying to hit him when you can't. You're trying to, you're fine there. He's lazing like crazy. I like how you're using your verticality. That's good. And then he catches you. See how you're coming down right here. You double jump for some reason, like you're like, oh, I'm gonna catch him with an up air here, right? Now this isn't the two situations I necessarily just outlined, but the idea is that you're pretty much, your only thing you can do here is up air. In which case he's hoping that that's what he's going for. He's trying to laser you coming down. The double jump here is probably like one of the worst things you could have done, because you have no ability to get out of this situation. Your only option you can really do to hit Falco is like an up air. You can't really, like, when you keep your double jump, it allows you to kind of jump away or get out of situations or get out of laser, which is what like Nunn and Rockman do a lot, right? They'll do like full hops or like short hops, and if they get lasered out of it at a high height, they can jump out of it. Or at worst, if they get shined, they at least have their jump still, which in this case, you do get your jump back, I believe, because you landed. But the thing is that you hard committed to like an option where not only do you have little or no drift, but you have no double jump, and you don't even have like, you're not really hitting anything. Like, he can easily stay out of your range. He can easily hit you in this situation. Now, I get this is the first 12 seconds, but this alone already shows that you don't have an idea of kind of, or like a concept or a game plan to work around not trying to get shined, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I try to always keep my double jump versus Falco. I always try to use my drift to my ability. Because right here is like a good situation. And then you don't DI the shine enough, and you didn't SDI this enough. So you get shined, go to platform. Thankfully, you got reversed. And then you come balls a blazing in with an up air. You didn't even try to take a little bit more space. You just were like, fuck it. I'm just going to go in and just up air here when he's at 0 on a platform. And it's like, even if you were to get a strong hit up air here, and
you would just CC'd.
He'd probably get CC'd, or even then, if he didn't CC, he'd probably fall off and still be able to shine before you. Like, you might be able to get grab here, but almost guaranteed exactly what happened here would have happened, where you would have maybe been able to act, and then the only thing you could do is shield, which he shines you, right? And if you didn't shield, then you'd get shined, right? In which case, now you're at a disadvantage. You roll into him, which is, I would have just rolled away or just wave dash and shield here, because he ran away, right? Like, he shined you, kept moving, and he gave you so much space there. Like, if Falco's moving away from you and you have like almost like, how much would that be actually? It's hard to see. But a lot of space. And you rolled already once before. Like right here, Falco is giving you a lot of space. Like, you have more than enough room to wave dash forward here, or even roll forward if you're really not like comfortable with wave dashing a shield, or even full hopping, because Falco's moving away. He's not moving into you, right? He doesn't have the ability to up tilt after, right? In which case you roll again, because you're shook at this point. You're panicking. You haven't even hit him once. He's got you at 71%. You do a nair, which again doesn't really cover anything, because I don't necessarily see. Bones isn't the kind of guy to just run in at you. He's usually a guy to laser, wait for you, and then come in, kind of, right? Like, see how he did the same thing he did again. He tried to laser, except this time you were more grounded, and you caught it with the shield, or with the grab. You try to go for a read at, like, 0%, first game, have no intel on how he likes to attack at all. That's another thing, too. It's like, players will, no matter the skill level, a lot of people will just go for reads when they should, kind of do a bit more reaction tech chasing to kind of understand how the opponent likes to react to certain situations. Not just tech patterns, but also what they like to do out of wake up of a tech, right? Like a miss tech too. Or like if you're in a frame advantage situation, because you're not always going to have a true punish on tech chase, right? So I find that, like, especially versus Falco, because you get one good stomp knee or like a double knee on Falco, he's dead. So really with Falco too, he can hit you. I feel honestly like Falco if they're good enough, they can hit you pretty freaking hard. Better than most foxes. Now it kind of becomes, equal at like a higher level, but my point still remains that you should try to react more, especially within the first minute of the first set or first game, right? Instead of going for like, again, you set up to be almost as if you were gonna go for reaction, but then you went for like nothing, and you didn't even do like a good frame advantage knee. You know what I mean? Like right here, you set up perfectly for the reaction, but then instead what you do is you do like a Rockman knee, which is fine actually, but you were like a little too late, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it feels like I was a bit too far there.
And too far too. Yeah, exactly, right? So it's like if you're gonna commit to that frame advantage knee, if you're not comfortable on doing the again, it's better to just go for a more reaction style option there, just to kind of get the habits or the patterns of your opponent. But even then, if you're going to opt for this, you have to be faster, because he's able to walk away, like, and then back air. It's not even like he's dashing, backing away. He's walking away, back airing, right? So you get out of it. Double jump nair is actually not bad, because, again, he's not expecting that. But then you do an immediate shield into a stomp forward, which is covering nothing. It's almost like you're hoping, which is one of the worst things you can do. You're hoping that he comes into your space instead of just either, using the platform to kind of like catch him running away, or nairing in, in which case what he's really trying to do is he's trying to hold center stage. What Bones likes to do is, it's like, if you hit him here, and he has center stage, he's like, well, I'm just going to hope if they come in, I'm going to wall right here. If they don't, then I'm going to laser after, and then I'm going to, continue having stage control until they kind of make a bad option, right? In this case, he doesn't wall you with a bear, but because you didn't go in at that timing, but he walls you with a nair because you're close enough now, right? And he's using his space. He's in your face. He's like, okay, nair, space, can't hit me. And then again, like you said, he's expecting you to shield grab, right? So entire game plan from Bones now is like, okay, I'm gonna do everything that you like. I'm gonna punish everything that you like to do that beat me last time, which is the shield grabs, or the certain things that are shield, or like coming in at disadvantage or whatever. Like, he's trying to make it as hard as possible for you. But again, that stomp covered nothing. Your shield grab was like extremely desperate. He's spacing perfectly for it. You go far in, which is good. You could maybe shield there, but I don't think you would have had time. You're going for the slide offs like a motherfucker, which is honestly working. Stomp, and then right here. Okay. The full hop actually isn't bad. It's not good here. Like, you probably could have gone for a better, like, punish off, or like a better option coverage off of this instead of going for a full hop, because in this case you're full hopping expecting him to do like some option that you can punish in place, right? If this was me, I probably would have, let me see, stomp, I probably would have jab reset. I probably would have had time to jab reset. If not, I probably would have done what you did, actually, just because of the fact that you're at a percent where you can't crouch. And on top of that, you felt like you were late to the dare. So in that situation, it's like, well, I can't really do anything. I might as well full hop to kind of like be able to punish the option in place instead of having to go for like a shield on the get up attack, right?
Right.
So actually the full hop's not bad. And you caught his spot dodge, which I don't know why he's spot dodging here. Right, and then what do you do when he's off ledge? You're full hopping, tomahawk, love it. You got it, and you get the read. I mean, I like it. I like the tomahawk. I like that you grab ledge and then you punish the side beyond. The tech away, he's holding fully away. He hasn't teched away yet. I don't see why not to read this, right? Not bad. But then let me see what you do when he's in invincibility. So you shield when he comes in. You're holding shield good. That's good. You spot dodge.
I think there's been some put. I think.
Okay. You roll in, shield again, get jabbed. Your shield grab. Oh my goodness, this is the worst shield grab I've ever seen. Holy shit. Don't get
Damn.
punished for it for some reason.
Okay.
You tried to shield grab again. I think it was right here. Right there. You try to shield grab again. You're going to shield grab again. No, you try to nair shield this time, but again, he's spacing and he's like... The thing is it's not even just the option that you're doing that he's going to be able to beat now, like specifically shield grab. He's spacing in a way and he's hitting you out of timings that you're doing consistently. You're consistently doing shield grab at a specific timing. You're probably more likely not going to do nair, which you tried right there, at the same timing, right? So he's in your face at a specific spacing or at a certain spacing that you can't catch with shield grab. And then you're going to do, if you can't do shield grab, you're going to do nair. In which case, you're just going to get jabbed or you're going to get hit back or you're going to, whatever. Point is that he's at a spacing where you can't really do much, right? If this was me, right there, I probably would have naired too. Because you're thinking forward tilt, that can't be safe, right? In which case you get jabbed and then you get forward thrown. Yeah, that's tricky. Yeah, because I don't really know if Dare would beat that. Because forward tilt, I don't even know the frame data for forward tilt.
You think like jumping back to ledge would be better in a way, or would it be like somewhat safe?
I think right here would be...
that's a really tough spot to be in at that percent. I'm just like, damn, okay. I know he's covering like roll in too, because he could just react to it. So I'm just like,
I would have probably wave dash back here. Like if I was really like expecting, because then at least I had ASDI down, right? At least now I would know to do that because he's going for these kind of like spaced around shield grab into jab pressure, right? And then until he changes that, and even then wave dash back would probably save me. You know, and I doubt he's gonna go for like a really hard F smash here because you're not at a percentage where he needs to do anything more than just force you off stage and then bury you, right? So there's no need for him to go for these hard F smashes. Like, you know, you'll see like Mango do a lot of the times when like he's catching like Falcons out of shield a lot. There's no need to do that right here because you're at a percentage where jab is going to more than do what's necessary, right? The beauty of the wave dash to shield on this timing is that you would also option select to tech, right?
yeah.
Which is helpful. I mean, you're still in a horrible position because you're at 140 or whatever, and you're by ledge, and Falco's at 0, and he's at a spacing where you can't really do much. You really are kind of screwed here, but again, you at least would be in a position where you have another chance of, you know, maybe staying on stage, in which case now you're off stage, right? And he's just going to bury you, and you're dead. Even with soft bury, you're dead, right? I like how you're getting in this face. That's good. The jab's good. A tech read in? I guess so. I don't expect Bones to go for that though. He's more like he's more like a hold shield or roll away kind of guy.
Right. He just wants to get that space back, you know, like he just wants to.
Exactly. He wants to be away from Falcon unless he's in an advantageous situation, in which case he's fine with being close to Falcon. But if he's in a position where he doesn't have a little bit of control, he's trying to get away from that. In that case, you have invincibility. You jabbed him. It caught him off guard. He's just trying to, yeah, exactly. He's just trying to get the space again. You nair in, which is, honestly, I would just wait an extra second here and see what he would do. Maybe dash in for a second because you have the space now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the issue is when you kind of just run in like this, it's very, especially when you're not covering any of the space up top here, you make it very easy for him to switch the positions, which is what he wants, right? Bones wants space, control, would control, which is center stage, right? So normally center stage, or at least just better positional advantage, which is typically where control comes from, right? When you think of the ability to pressure somebody, the person who's pressuring is typically the person who is center stage or at least not in the corner, right? So in this case, you kind of just threw your Nair out there, expecting him almost to short hop in, which is like, again, he didn't really like laser for a second to show that he's going to try to short hop in. He, you're just throwing it in there and hoping almost that it's just going to hit him, right? Instead of kind of taking a bit more space and waiting a second and then maybe, covering certain things, you just kind of ran in. But again, it didn't actually, it looked like a second ago, it looked like it worked out for you though anyways, because you got the...
Yeah, I kind of expected him to laser at least, and I try to catch that, but I think that'd be a terrible spot.
That's like a hope though, right? And that's
Right, yeah, I get you.
You gotta stop going for the I hope for this. I'm gonna go for this. You have to stop with that, because that kind of thinking is very very dangerous. Because then you start hoping for shit and you don't get that, and then you don't actually have a way of you don't actually start playing melee for melee. You're just kind of like in your own fake reality. You know what I mean? So either way, you get the shield grab after because you shined. You go for technique. That's honestly, I would do the same. I see. You went for a shield. It almost felt like, did you feel like he was going to bear you here or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to do.
So you're kind of going. So what
like an up tilt or a back air he's gonna go for right there, since I'm in the corner, and then he's gonna try to pressure me from there.
Yeah. What Nun'll do here is he'll either go for the Rockman knee here, or he'll dash dance a second to see whether or not they'll go for like a bear or an up tilt, in which case you can kind of deal with both. The thing is, he probably wouldn't dash dance here just because he doesn't have enough space, and if Falco was the bear, he could drift in. So I get why you shielded here. And you go to platform. Good double jump out. You see how like keeping your double jump at low percent is really good? Because even if you got hard hit here, you're able to jump out, and he thinks he can get a shine, right? In which case you got a bear, and then that leads into you being able to pressure. But again, you did another stomp where you're not covering anything. It didn't even look like the stomp really came out. You weren't trying to, use your drift or use your active hitboxes or anything. You just kind of like, I think he's just you're trying to hit him where he was instead of where he's going to be,
Right.
Like you did an amazing back air here, and instead of just immediately pressuring in with like a nair or something, you decided to go for, or even like a knee. Like Wizzy sometimes will just like run a knee here, right? Instead, you cover an option where he's not even at anymore. And not only that, but you don't even like keep it out long enough such that if he was to come in like a Lord Stomp, that you would catch him. And now you're getting comboed. I think you could SDI that a bit more. That's hard. Bones is good at making it hard to SDI the dare, I find.
Yeah, he kind of drifted that one a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, exactly. He's good at that kind of stuff. Either way, he likes to do an up air eventually, so that's good. Like, if you DI away that it looks like you're going to platform, he likes to up air a lot. So it's like you can get out. Because Better Falco's probably should have done like a reverse bear to something. Instead, he goes for an up air. You try to double jump out. Instead of throwing it like an immediate double jump aerial, which again is not really the best thing you can do here, you just decided to double jump out. What could you have done differently here? Just tech to the right. He can't cover it.
Right.
Right? You don't always have to double jump out of things. You can use the platforms, right? He's going more vertical, and you can see he's going more vertical. You have more than enough time to know that he's going vertical. Right? Shine, dare, up air. I can see why you did.
Yeah, I was getting in the vortex there. I was like, oh shit, I need to get out.
You need to get out.
He waited for my option there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is kind of like a panic jump, right? You're not using all your resources. This is a comfort option. It's like, I'm getting comboed. I'm going to jump out immediately instead of just waiting and just, doing something differently. Because you're low enough here that you could definitely have just kept kept in tumble or whatever, and then just teched, right? Either way, you're fine. What do you do here? Shield grab.
You think instead of putting myself in a position like to shield there, I could just like dash or something? I feel would be better.
Right
'Cause
here?
I'm just like cornering myself right there.
Well, yeah, you could have definitely have waited where you were and even crouched, and then shielded if you felt like he was going to come after, because there's no way Falco is going to be able to get close enough to you to where you were, right? Like right over here. Like you could have easily crouched here. Even if Falco, like, he's already jumping, right? If Falco would have had to have ran like until here in order to even hit you, in which case you're still crouching and you have the ability to like shield anyways, right? If you feel like he's not going to laser. But I'm pretty sure what like someone like Ben would have done was like held down here, caught the laser, and like instant up aired or something. But in that situation, I probably would have done the exact same thing you did, which is run and shield, except the difference is I wouldn't have shield grabbed. I would have probably tried to do like a full drift nair out of shield, or like a full hop out, and like kind of like do like the S2J double jump where he double jumps. I'll show you in a second. Where he double jumps around them, right? Like what he does is he'll like, in this case, he's usually facing the other way, but it also works the same way where he would double jump over top of them and then bear them, right? Like he'd full hop here, and then he would double jump around, and then that way he gets center stage, right? And they'd have to hard read it with like a full hop back air. Like it's not something they can just preemptively do, or like they can reactively do. They have to like know that you're gonna double jump over them, right? Like right here, double jump or jump. But again, that's kind of risky because he's in your face. But it probably would have worked. Either way, though, you gotta stop shield grabs, man. That's definitely true enough. Shield grabs are definitely killing you. Shield grabs are great, but the thing is that it can't be your go-to option at a shield, right?
Right.
It's good one-off because it keeps them honest, right? But if it's your go-to option, they're just never gonna pressure your shield. Like Bones has not once pressured your shield, like how like most Falcos will do it, right? He's like, I'll just play out of your space, make it so that the only thing you can do is do an option of shield like an aerial, or reset to make it so that you know you can't actually true punish me. In which case, he's just waiting for it every single time. Somehow, he hasn't punished you that hard for it each time, which is crazy to me. He's only gotten like a single hit or nothing. I guess Falcon shield grab is just that good. You go for another Rockman knee, which is like, I don't like. I only go for those if I'm actively tech chasing. I never go for those if I'm, the one who is getting tech chasing.
I need to stop playing Falcos on unranked because I see that shit way too many times, and that's ingrained into my brain.
I'm just if here I'm expecting them to assume like when someone's playing me because I nair in so much, I'm expecting them to bear me here. In which case I'm either expecting them to wall me or to make it so that my nair's not going to connect. You go for like a knee here, which it's like there's no need for it because you're the one who's you're the one who's being tech chased, right? Like if we look at this again, you roll away, but the difference is now, like yeah, you guys are, you know, you have better positional advantage, but if you look at your ability to act, who's able to act as soonest, you guys are able to act at the same time. The reason why the Rockman knee works is because you have a frame advantage. You have to remember that. You have a frame advantage. So you're able to set up your knee sooner, or you're able to get the position to set up your knee sooner than they are to act out and do something else. Does that make sense? So you can't, if you're on the same frame advantage, you know, you're neutral on like who's able to act the soonest, you can't go for that kind of knee, right? Because he has more than enough time to deal with you coming into his face. Especially here. And we already know Bones loves jumping out of the corner, like full hopping. He did it once on the right side. He's already doing it again on the left side, right? Again, shield grab. Right here. And and you're like, oh, I could grab his shine, and then you get nared. Yep. And then you're off stage, and then it's that easy. And then you double jump immediately, which I probably would have done. Just happens. You try to drift away, and you get forward tilted. Yeah. Let's see, could you have done anything better? The laser kind of made it very difficult. I guess you could have went low there. Yeah, but then you're screwed either way, right? The drift was good.
Like delayed my up B or maybe like went reverse.
Yeah, if you went low and went and delayed it, or reverse, or waited a second, or even drifted in a bit more, such that like the forward tilt you'd be closer on stage, so you wouldn't go as far. You're kind of just screwed here though, because you lost your double jump, right? And that's hard. That was like a really good laser, right? And it catches you right as you're able to jump out. That was like an amazing laser. Yeah, I don't really know what else you could have done other than go low, or somehow kept your double jump for a bit longer, in which case is going to force you to go low anyways, right? Even if you were to wait a second here,
you'd be out at the ledge and he'll just wait for me there. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of just screwed here.
Oh, all right.
True. True. Up air him.
He was shook.
He was shook, man. He's like, I got hit by that up air. How? And you're trying to get away. You're doing an okay job of trying to deal with his invincibility. Not the greatest. Back air to shield. Another shield grab. Like, I haven't seen you try to approach him once. I haven't seen you try to, like, you haven't not shield grabbed. And when you don't, you do, like, a crazy bear to shield. Probably could have grabbed him or hit him there for sure, because you were far enough away. Let me see. Right, he dared you. Easily could have shield grabbed him here, but you might have gone shine because of it. Either way, you could definitely have stomped him here. I know that for a fact. All right, right here, you could have probably stomped, but either way, you'd say, I don't know the situation, or you're not comfortable, so you get away, which is fine. You're trying to attack when he's already in your space and throwing out a move. Like, he's in a space. Remember, Falco, Fox, they have faster moves than us. So you have to, if you're going to catch them like this, you have to hit them before they throw out the move, right? Like, you have to be throwing out your move before they even throw out their move. Because we could have our move, like, thrown out at the same time, and ours is going to get beat every single time, right? Theirs comes out, like, frame 7 or whatever it is, right? Ours comes out frame 10. And if they're already jumped in the air, it comes out even faster, right? It's like frame 4 or 5 then, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what timing bear comes out for Falco, but the point is that if they're already in the air, it's coming out even faster. So you have to do it even earlier if you're gonna meet them. But you don't have to though, right? You don't have to meet them there.
Yeah, I could just like do a little box shot in the corner and then whiff punished him there.
Yeah, you could have easily whiff punished. And the thing is, he's coming down with a bear that doesn't really have much drift. And if you space it properly and kind of feinted threat or pressure, he's either going to dash away or he's going to spot dodge, more likely than not. Most Falcos aren't going to probably shield there because they're expecting like a shield grab, right? So if you're close enough, you probably spot dodge. If you were not close enough, you'd probably run away. But again, you didn't do that. You tried to meet him where he was, but not preemptively. You're trying to almost like react and then hit him, right? Instead of proactively attacking. But it's all the simple things that kind of add up, right? It's not using your space effectively. And that's the thing, honestly, with Melee is I feel like a lot of people would use their space a lot more effectively if the game wasn't a 4x3. Because half the time, especially on a stage like Stadium, like you dash back here, you're in like the bubble. And then you don't actually know how much space you really have. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, I feel like I have only this much space to move. So that's why it's why I feel like, and I understand why you went for the up air here. It's why you feel like you need the tack. But you have to remember you have a lot more space here than you realize, and you should use it, right? You don't always have to try to meet them head on, especially at 0. You're attacking Falco at 0. More likely than not, even if you meet him there, nothing's gonna happen. Or if he meets you low, he's probably just gonna shine you anyways, right? Unless you're like Wizzy and someone get a great spaced up air such that his shine misses, and then you can grab his shine and it's extended hurt box, right? Like, other than that, you're not really getting much off of an up air here. You're doing yourself more of a disservice. And now you're in a punish, right? I mean, it could have been avoided, but the thing is, the slide off screwed you, and you were like, I'm gonna tech it, and then now you're really bad. Missed the tech because you're not expecting to get up tilted. Let me see this again. I would have just stomped here. If you're already making such a hard commitment with this Nair, right? Like, you already know, like, that's another thing. You can't necessarily do, like, I don't do Nair at low percent in this matchup because you can get CC shined. Even then, like, it doesn't really always lead to much. Like, they can hold down and away. Unless, like, you get a super juicy Nair and they DI hard in or something, right? In which case, you could probably get a regrab. But it's not like the Falcon matchup where you can do a Nair like this and probably be fine and maybe even get a grab off of it. You know what I mean? Like those Nairs at low percent. Falco's not like that. Falco at low percent, all I'm thinking of doing is getting stomp, a grab, or a knee. Like, unless I can catch them in the air, right? Or if I can shark them with up airs, like, safely. But if I'm trying to deal with Falco, like, in my space, more likely than not, I'm trying to hit him hard with something or get a grab so I can hit him hard with either of those two moves, right? Nair at low percent is more like I'm going to hit him coming in or I'm going to hit him in the air. And up air is the same thing. I'm going to hit him on platform and when he's in the air. But even up air is not as good, right? Because you could, like I said, we talked about that situation just a second ago where he came with a bear and you try to up air. You're not really going to get much off of that, right? So I probably should have said this sooner, but how I think of the Falco matchup is I'm trying to avoid shine and I know already all the situations in which kind of lead up to me getting shine, which if you want, we can actually go through all that entire list, but I don't think it's really worth it to do it. I'm thinking about avoiding shine and I'm thinking about how can I get the moves I want, right? How can I get a knee? How can I get a grab? How can I get a stomp, right? And a lot of times the easiest way to get like a stomp is like instead of doing this upper you did here or this Nair you did here, doing a stomp instead. Like Falco's approaching you. Let's see it again. Right here. Right here. Like right here you can do like a full hop stomp and you'll catch Falco. But instead you went for a Nair, right? That's the kind of stuff you need to do. At lower percent, it's like I can do these full hops and if I see Falco coming in, I can stomp him. Now that's like not the best way to you know get a stomp, but the idea is still you have to replace Nair in this situation or situations like this with a harder hitting move, or at least hit them so that they can't counterattack you, right? Like in the air or whatever. You run in shield. Again, I haven't seen a single like good approach from you. It's been like either like you haven't even tried to like double jump in approach. You've always been trying to either run in with shield. Either I mean you did like full screen run in shield before you would do it like run in like a little bit and then shield when you're on like the left side or right side. Like I haven't seen a proper like even Wizzy tries to do like a double jump Nairs, right? He'll do like his double jump faded Nairs, kind of like what he does versus Puff, but he does that versus Falco too. Same with Gatsu. What Zio will do, like Ziodyne, the SoCal Falcon.
Yeah.
What he'll do is if he's having trouble approaching Falco, he'll just like if Falco's further here, he'll use the platform to help him get more distance, right? You can dash jump off the platform Nair or knee or whatever, and you can hit more. He'll do that a lot on like Battlefield, for instance. But stuff like that, like you're not using your stage, you're not using your drift. You're trying to meet him head on a lot of the times. Like, you're not using Falcon's strengths effectively, right? You're not using his ability to dash dance whiff. You're not using his ability to, you know, put pressure on like frame advantage situations. And you're not trying to get that knockdown at low percent, right? Right here, you run up shield, and you try to shield grab after, and then you get punished for it. It's a good weight. You try to run and grab, which is like super hard to do on Falco, unless you're like, again, unless you're catching them whiffing an option like directly, like an up tilt or a spot dodge or whatever, kind of like how None does it. That's a little bit different, but even that can get punished, right? Like, I probably would have nared in there like sooner than you even grabbed, and you probably would have caught the Falco. But then now, because you shield, or you tried, you know, dash dance grab, now you're shielding, and you're trying to do a nair, which again, he's trying to stay out of your space, right? He just saw you grab, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna stay out of his space for aerials, which is like he tries to space it perfectly, puts out a laser right at the timing that you like to get out of shield, and then he nairs you. Right? He's doing everything to cover what you want to do because you're doing it all at the same timing. Right? Like, you're in shield, you wait a second, and, like, you're not the kind of guys who act immediately, but you'll wait a second and then you'll act. And he's like, it's like almost the same timing every time. Like, finally approached. In like a way that wasn't horrible. You know, like you not a bad knee, but again, like, he likes to full off out of corner, right? He's like, okay, he's not really hitting me hard here. I'm gonna just kind of full hop out of corner. Which, it's like, it's hard to deal with that. Sometimes I'll go for full hop reads, but the thing is, it's kind of hard to know he's gonna full hop here. If they're in the corner, I'll go for full hop reads a lot of the times. Because I know that they want to jump at a corner or whatever, right? It's a little bit harder, though. Ooh. Let's see, what could he have done there better? Oh, that was rough.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
right
that's because he power shielded. He could get it out. He could get like a power shield shine, right? Which I don't even think he did. I think he jump shined, which actually screwed up his timing for the wave shine out of shield. Yeah, that's hard. Maybe doing a lower nair and then maybe being able to shield. I don't know, actually.
Is that a grab? I don't know.
I don't know. It almost looked like you did grab after. Let me see it again. No, I think it's just you recovering from there. I don't think you had time to grab yet. You're still recovering. Yeah, this reminds me of getting power shield down smash by like the Peaches.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to kind of deal with this is just space nair better. But it's hard to do because he hasn't done this yet. It's not like Peaches where they do it every single time you approach with a nair, you know, kind of lazily. This is the first time he's ever done this. This is the first time you even approached, though. That's the thing, right? Approach in a good way, ish. Good-ish way. That being said, didn't really lead to much for him. It's not the end of the world. Let's see. Did you use? He tried to knee him. Yeah, you didn't like try to dash dance or anything. He's not lasering that much, right? So if Falco is not lasering much, you can wait a little bit more and dash dance a little bit more, right? If he's lasering a lot, then what you want to do is you want to try and catch him, right? Either over the laser heights or before he, like, just as he's lasering, or after laser with like a CC into an up air or into like a stomp or whatever. But when Falco's not lasering that much, it's hard to like beat him raw with a knee like this, right? You might have been able to nair, but you would have probably have traded, right? But if Falco's not lasering much, I just try to close the gap and then use my range to beat him, right? If he's lasering a lot, I try to stuff his lasers or whiff punish them, or get close enough where laser isn't, like in a space where laser isn't the best thing for him to do, right? Even though he does like to use close lasers, you can still kind of beat those by forcing him to laser again in that situation and then punishing for it. But again, he's not lasering that much here. So going for like a raw knee here is very, very difficult. Like you could have waited a second and then kind of see, like got closer and see what he would have done out of the corner, right? Because you have center stage. You don't need to always run in immediately when you have center stage. Remember that. In this case, like almost every single time he's been in the corner, you've like ran in immediately to pressure him when you're not even close. And you're not even kind of like forcing him to do an option that you want. You're just like, I'm just going to run in with a nair. I'm just going to run in with a knee or whatever. And it worked out for you kind of that one time because he did that full hop nair and you were able to, you know, grab his shine. But most of the time, it's not going to work out in your favor. So you need to use your center stage presence, pressure a little bit closer to him, maybe, you know, cover him coming at a corner or whatever. Like use your stage positioning to your advantage instead of just throwing it out the window every time you approach, right? Yeah, and then you double jump in there. You're fine. I see you're trying to like immediately act. It's like if I'm ever worried, I'm just gonna go back to ledge here. And he even read you, but he's like, I'm just gonna wait a second. I'm just gonna see how he's using stage positioning now. He's like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm waiting, still waiting. Now he's like, okay, he's kind of coming in a bit more. I'm just gonna move back a bit. Like he's staying close enough that he can deal with you, right? Without having to like directly come at you. He's like, I'm just kind of waiting, seeing what he's gonna do. I have the stock up. I'm just gonna use my resources, right? And again, he's playing a little bit further away because that's how Bones likes to play. And he also, because he has, you know, Falco has laser, he's able to do that. But the thing is, you got to take this advantage also that he's giving you center stage that you can, you know, use platform here. Again, don't be afraid to use platforms to help you kind of mitigate Falco's stage presence, right? Going to platform is amazing versus Falco. You don't always have to hit Falco head on. You can hit him kind of from a diagonal or from above. Hitting Falco from above is really good. Have you ever played like Fox Falco before? Because that matchup, honestly, that matchup's really dependent on like how well Fox can deal, or Fox can. It matters how well Falco can deal with Fox full hopping, because Fox full hopping versus Falco is very tough for Falco to deal with if done correctly, right?
Yeah.
So you can do the same with Falcon. You can use your full hops effectively to really make it difficult for Falco to deal with your stuff. But the thing is, it feels like the entire time you're just trying to deal with him head on, like a short hop distance, and a lot of times at a disadvantage, which again, it's like not really, you're not getting anywhere with it, right? So if you used, you know, platforms a bit more, again, stadium's a little bit more difficult for that because there's no top platform. But if you use platforms a bit more, use your verticality a bit more, you know, your drift in a bit more, instead of just always short hopping in, you'll find you'll get a lot more out of it. And there's been already a couple times that we've seen that you were able to do like a full hop and into like a stomp instead of like that nair, right? Or like even, let me see. There's another situation too. But essentially my point is that you gotta be more comfortable with using platforms. You gotta be more comfortable with using your verticality, your drift, instead of, you know, instead of shield grabbing, instead of, you know, very, you know, bombastic approaches with your nair, your knee. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, I gotta resist the urge to just pressure and to like try to gain an advantage instead of just like waiting it out a little bit. You know.
Crazy nair. Again, and then you do another nair, which doesn't. He's out of your range. So if you're gonna do a nair like that, you really need to like drift in a fuck ton. And even then, you're just gonna trade, probably. Like, and if like you're at a percentage where it's fine for him to really get hit. He's fine with getting hit. Like, he's got 134% on you. You got 35% on him, and he's got 2 stocks. Like, he's more than happy just to play the waiting game, right? Like, he's not really going for these hard reads on you. He's just kind of like waiting, and he's dash dancing. See how he's dash dancing? He's waiting. He's baiting you. He's causing you to do bad options. Like, he's using the stage effectively, and then you just like aren't aware of the stage. You aren't using platforms. You aren't using your verticality. You're doing a lot of panic options like shield grab. You're not covering a lot of space with your aerials. You're doing a lot of unsafe approaches where you don't necessarily need to, and you can gain more space. What else is there? That's a lot of it, really. There's a bit more that I think we discussed, but like that's the main thing so far. Like, your recoveries haven't actually been bad. Like, your recoveries overall, like from what you've been given, you've done a pretty decent job. You know what I mean? Like, you've done most of the stuff that I've probably done besides that Nair. So that's why I haven't really touched upon that. But it's a lot of your what's the word? Your awareness or perspective on situations is very, like, you're hoping a lot. You're not using your surroundings. Like, you're basically just like, I'm gonna attack Falco head on, regardless of what he wants to do, regardless of where he is, regardless of what, a lot of things, right? Like stage positioning, percentage, their habits, their like,
yeah, I'm just not like gauging like what they're gonna do. I'm just like, like as you said, like hoping for certain things. Yeah. Then I should be like, waiting a little bit longer, I guess, just a little,
just a bit longer, and just using your verticality a bit more, and just playing like hell. Like, we watch. Like, give me a second. I always like to watch other Falcons just because of the fact that, let me share my screen. Because they, like, especially Johnny, because you'll immediately see kind of like, what does Johnny like to do in a certain situation. And let me change my windows. Let me see if you can see it.
I can see.
All right. Like, see, Johnny's full hopping over. Like, see how he immediately does like a stomp full hop to get around Falco? He's using platforms a lot. He's using full hops a lot. He's using the platforms. He's using, again, full hop drift in, back air, like short hops when he's close and like when he's trying to like overshoot, but then full hops if he's trying to get above Falco or deal with kind of Falco lasering, right? Full hops again, stomp over top. See, like, using your verticality, right? This will literally lead to a stock as long as Johnny can edgeguard effectively. See?
Right.
The verticality, use your platform. Again, Pokemon Stadium's a little bit different because you don't have a top platform, but you can still use the platforms,
Yeah, like, I just utilize them, so they're right there, you know what I'm saying?
And he does like goes to platform, run off short hop up there, trying to catch, Falco approaching maybe, He's not trying to get Shine. Like, see how he's really trying to like kind of stay away from Shine. Like but he kind of got lazy there. But the thing is, he's fine with getting Shine too because he knows that his defensive game is good enough that he can shine away and Falco can get nothing off of it, right? But again, out of corner, tries to like a full hop stomp, boom. And now the thing is with Ginger is that he approached here sooner than like say Bones probably would have if Falcon was in the corner. But the point is that regardless of what they're doing, Johnny's using his verticality a lot more, right? He's using the platforms. He's waiting a little bit, like, and then the thing is now his full hop stomp's getting punished here, so he's probably gonna do it less, right? He's like, okay, I tried to do full hop stomp there and I got punished for it. I'm probably gonna stop doing that now, or at least I'm gonna do it in a different way where it's not as obvious. Using platforms. That was a crazy roll. I don't know why he rolled there. Probably didn't mean to. But the thing is, every time he nairs, it's either when Ginger is far enough away that he can't hit him with something that'll hurt. Like Ginger's like, look at like this spacing right here. And this timing too. He's trying to catch Falco lasering immediately. But Ginger's like, okay, I'm going to drift back. Even then, Johnny then shields because he's like, well, maybe Ginger's going to come in. And I don't know why he rolls. But then he nares at a timing or in a spacing where it's safe. And also Ginger shielding. Catches him out of shield. Goes for the tech chase. Again, reaction tech chasing. And then he's going to try and use the platforms in center stage to kind of beat him, but he's like, screw it, I'll just let him back on stage. His ledge dashes are too good. That was actually a really clean ledge dash. Again, see that verticality? He's using the verticality. He's waiting a second, right? Running shield, using the platforms again. You know, again, I understand we were on Pokemon and this is Yoshi's, but the point still stands that he's using his verticality, using the platforms, you know, waiting a little bit, stuff like that. We could watch the rest of this, but let's just go on to the next set. Okay. How do I get rid of the sound? I thought I had the sound off for this. Did the Pokemon Stadium game have sound?
Yeah, it did.
It did? Okay.
Were you watching with no sound?
I think I was. I just don't remember. Maybe it's just Dreamland theme is so freaking, like...
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Let's do this. Okay. Now we're back. So second game, so he probably banned Battlefield, and you're like, all right, I'm going to go Dreamland. A lot more verticality, which is good already. But then you kind of got, what happened? Jab, F smash, panicked, rolled, instead of just waiting a second. Again, what's Falcon going to do in the situation at low percent on your shield? You're like, who cares if he grabs you at low percent? You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of holding shield versus Falco at low percent, because there's only so much you can do on shield, and you can eventually get out with like well-timed roll, well-timed wave dash to shield, well-timed full hop, right? So be comfortable with being, you know, uncomfortable, right? Or like be comfortable with Falco being on your shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially at low percent.
Yeah.
High percent, I can see why you might have rolled here, just because like maybe he could get a grab and then you get thrown off stage or whatever. But even then, it's like, it's much better than rolling and then getting shined. Especially low percent. I think you SDI'd that down. What was that? Let me see. Yeah, I think you did. And then you're able to land. You shield grab. That was good. Went for a stomp. Again, no reaction. All just only read. And it's not even like a read that can let you have lead into frame advantage. It's a read that makes it end up being that you guys reset to neutral. Right? Because you're able to act almost at the same time. Or he's able to act soon enough that, like, it's not like he has to do a defensive option, right? He can run away, double jump, fine. So be a little more reactive on like the first few hits, you know? Don't be afraid to do that. And that's really, honestly, like, how else are you going to know what kind of habits they have if you don't kind of force them to tech more often? Tech more often in like certain situations. Shield grab, read. Yeah.
Yeah, drop zone would have definitely.
Drop zone definitely would have been it here. Yeah. It was.
I guess I couldn't really tell, honestly.
Let me see. Yeah, that was weird. Take away. Yeah, drop zone definitely. Drop zone up air even. Drop zone up, double up air. Drop zone knee. You didn't have to go for the double jump up air here. Like, at that point, you should know that you reverse hit and then don't up air. I think you have enough time to react. Maybe not, actually.
I think I would have made it back first before him if I just didn't do that.
Yeah. At least you wouldn't have died. You would have made an up air here, or up B there, and then, like, at worst, you probably would have landed on stage and he would have grabbed ledge, and it's not that bad. But instead, now you're dead because you went too low. Even then, your up air was, like, you couldn't even hit it because you fast fell. Like, you were too low to even do that up there. At least at the time you did it. Did you not want to hit? I guess you didn't want to hit him here because, like, you have invincibility. Why not just hit him anyways and force him off platform? You can full hop there. You have enough. You still have invincibility a little bit. Instead, you go for. Did you think that up air was gonna hit off the waveland?
Again, I was hoping he would come down with shield drop or something, but obviously that's not very good in this situation.
No.
So
your invincibility, he's trying to avoid. He's not trying to attack.
Right. I just thought he would come down from there, but he didn't. So
he's setting up for wave slide off, either double jump or slide off shine or whatever, or the ability to full hop out of it like he did because you didn't pressure him, right? What I would do here, because I have that Ganon blood in me, is I would have wave landed off and up air, pushing him off, because I think you'd get pushed off here.
Yeah, it's very rare to see because I don't see a lot of people do that. So
no, yeah, it's not something that people do often, but it's something that I've seen enough. Like, again, especially because I say Ganon, because people like to do that kind of shield on platform kind of stuff versus Ganon sometimes, and I'll just wave land off, like usually on side platforms, wave land off to push them off, and then I'll up air or bear them. But it's like something with Ganon that you do that you wouldn't necessarily need to do with Falcon, right? Because Falcon, you don't need to do that. There's not really necessary. It's not really necessary to have to do that. Sometimes you're fast enough to wave land on grab, and it can beat their shield drop or whatever. This up air was fine, except the thing is, you didn't space. It wasn't. You're not able to space these up airs, and not only that, but like you did it a little bit. Like, you didn't do it low. You did like a higher one, even though you were low. If that makes any sense.
Right.
What I like to do here actually is sometimes I'll run off and then I'll feint, kind of coming down. And so, like, what I mean by that is I'll fast fall down like you did, but then I'll double jump to kind of see what they want to do. Kind of like what foxes do versus marts, because a lot of marts, like the dash dance, grab you, right? You can do the same thing against Falco to see what he wants to do. In this case, you would then recognize that he likes the shield, in which case then you could go for a tomahawk, right? But that's something I like to do a lot, is like I'll run off, double jump, and then see what they do, because then I catch them kind of going for that whiff punish or that defensive option like Bones did here. Right, double jump out, that's fine. You go for a grab, which is like you're almost hoping that he's gonna be in that spacing instead of actually like grabbing him when he's there. He has so much space to deal with this grab. Like, it's not like he's in the corner where he has less space. He has so much space that this grab, like, you'd have to overshoot that grab extremely hard to the point where he's just gonna punish you for coming into space. Use your like little foxtrots to get away, which isn't bad. Right here. And then instead of stomping, you go for a bear. Like, just do the, like I said, I mean, you didn't know now, but for now, do that like double jump stomp, right? Or if you were really gonna commit to that bear, get more over top of him, more so here, right? Get more further away than right over top of him, because your bear's not gonna hit him, and his bear's gonna easily hit you above you, right? So either stomp so that you hit him, you know, kind of like you could even do a full hop stomp again to stomp him, or like do the Johnny stomp, or if you're already committed to the double jump, do a stomp, or at least space more such that your bear might beat his, or at worst trades, right? But again, don't be afraid to use verticality, which you're trying to do, but you're just not doing it properly. You know what I mean? Like, you have the idea to, I gotta play more vertical, but you're not choosing the right options or the right drift, and then you're still not using you're not using platforms to your advantage either, right? It's almost like you're thinking this game only works on like it's like every stage is FD until it isn't FD, and then in which case you reset to make it FD. Like right here, you're like, I'm gonna come on a corner. You were on the platform there. You could have easily went to like top platform, maybe to kind of get closer to center stage, but instead you're like, I'm just gonna go shield drop, up air, and then now I'm back to FD.
I get you. Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to use platforms. Like, work it in. That was good back air. Again, you're close enough. He's behind you. You waited. Good back air. Good knee. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I audibly like fucking went like, damn, that was such a free edge guy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you gotta be like, you gotta be quick on those, man.
Yeah.
These literally win you. These win you games. These win you sets. These win you tournaments. Like grab.
Yeah. As soon as I jumped out there, I was like, damn, I'm not gonna get this guy.
I gotta get the leg. Like you had enough time to do it too. The fact you're able to do that means you had enough, like, you have more than enough time to wave dash back. But that besides that, let's see what you do. At that point, you can't try to like run past and execution test bear him because you're too close to the ledge, right? I would have probably shielded and try to go to platform and try to get better space because now you're in a spot where it's like, this is Falco's domain. He has invincibility to shine. Or go for a crazy stomp. I've seen Wizzy do that sometimes to catch the ledge dash. But in this case, you fucked up. You're pissed. You're frustrated. You're like, fuck it. I just want to hit this Falco off again. Shield grab again. Good wait. See, if you waited a second, it was fine, right? You don't always have to counterattack Falco to shield. A lot of times when I'm playing Falcos, I'll just roll or I'll wave dash and I'll just get out of the situation. I only try to attack when I have a feeling like I'm going to actually be able to hit them. Either at worst trade if it's higher percent or outright beat them. I don't try to attack out it. Like, and if I try to shield grab, again, that looked like it was shield grabbable. I don't blame you. If I try to shield grab, it's usually like on sloppy pressure, right? Or if they miss an L cancel or something, then I shield grab them. Otherwise, I just reset and then try and get a grab a better way, right? Especially versus someone who's like looking for your grabs. Which, did you know beforehand that he was trying to do what he was trying to do or no?
I don't think so, to be fair with you.
Okay. Like, when did you find out that that was his game plan?
What, the...
Void grabs and whatever else.
I was just going through his VOD and he was stressing about the way I was playing and he was like using this set, I feel.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Was that after the set?
That was the previous set that we played.
And you watched that before you played this set?
I just kept that in my mind. That was before the set, yeah.
You kept that in your mind, yet you still shield grabbed like 30,000 times?
Yeah, that's kind of odd, but I was gonna
say, like, that, if you had that knowledge, holy shit, that's huge. Because then you know for a fact he's not going to pressure your shield like Westball's pressure or even like Dare, Shine, Grab, or whatever. He's just going to be doing space pressure, right? Damn, you knew too, and yet you still shield grabbed 30 million times?
Holy I probably forgot for a second, and then I remembered too late, if that makes sense.
Forgot for two and a half games so far. Yeah, okay, forgot for a second, my ass. Nah, all jokes aside, though. Damn, you knew. That could have been really helpful. To be fair, though, I was going to say, these nairs aren't actually always bad. Especially if you're trying to catch them come in. But the thing is that... I'm trying to think. Again, not using platforms. Trying to come in straight onto Falco instead of trying to play more vertical. You're in the corner, and again, it's like it's FD. Just kind of let it happen. Same jump timing at a shield. You wait for a second, then jump or act. Right, jump to shield. You get caught, and you're dead. Not only that, but you never even try to like come towards center stage. You know what I mean? Like you're always just staying in the corner. Like I get it's, you know, daunting. But you're not even trying to fight your way out of the corner. You're just like hoping that he gets close enough that you can get a reversal, right? Or like a wall. You're trying to wall, and then it's like walling Falco is hard, man. Like it's not something I'd recommend doing. It's rather be more aggressive and be more over top of Falco than it is to be like Wally, kind of, you know, spacing like around their moves kind of stuff. It's much easier to just be closer to them and overshoot and hit them, in my mind. Especially because it's like Falco, especially Falco like Bones, he has no issue just waiting in center stage until he gets enough space or understanding to kind of force you either further in the corner or to, you know, catch you coming in, like in a bad way, like these kind of nairs where you don't actually approach him, right? And the thing is, you need that kind of duality at the end of the day. What I was trying to lead into is you need that duality. You can't just be only defensive Falcon. You need to be able to show that you'll approach, because then you can use that defensive Falcon when you need to. If he's not expecting you to ever come in, he can just play defensive Falco and slowly push you to the corner and then force you off stage, which is exactly what he does here. So you need to be able to, you know, either approach in some way or at least force him to, you know, not always just play center stage, right? Like if you watch SUJ, you notice he's trying to get in his face. He's trying to use the verticality. If you watch None, he does similar things, but in different ways. Even Wizzy tries to approach or get close, like tries to, you know, close the gap and tries to be, you know, probably more safe than how SUJ or None does it, but he at least tries to show that he's playing in their face. Probably trying to play more aggressive. Was this supposed to be like you're trying to react to the tech and up air? Right here, G. Is that what that was supposed to be?
Yeah, but I think I was probably slow on it. But I don't think that's very practical in that sense.
No, I don't think it's practical. No, it's too hard. You'd have to like instant fast fall, or like you have to fast fall.
If it was Fox though, I think it would have worked. But
yeah. If it was Fox, it would have worked.
It's just a longer tech.
Yeah. No, I agree. Fox, it would have definitely have hit. In that situation, I would just run down and if it's probably not Dreamland because you're so high up, but a lot of other stages I'd stomp here and see them tech in, and then I'd run off platform, like fast fall down, and then try and grab them. Because you can do that sometimes. Dreamland probably not, just because of the fact that platforms are so high. Sometimes you can actually just run off, or if you can't get a grab, which you couldn't have gone here, even maybe on other stages, you could even just frame advantage like aerial in some way. You know what I mean? If Falco is ever facing away from you, that's when you can CC. Falco, because the only things Falco can really do, or most times what Falco do when they're facing away from you, is up tilt or back air, in which case those can both be CC'd. Very few Falcos actually do like a drift in, like kind of like a lowered stomp dare with Falcon. They'll do it a lot against like a Peach, but they don't necessarily do it versus a Falcon. So a lot of times you can actually, like, if you're late to something, you can ASDI down and actually get a punish because of it. Like right here.
Like running ASDI down.
Yeah, right here, running ASDI down and probably have grabbed him. Instead, you got hit and then you tried to grab anyways, and then you get shined. Good double jump. Again, not using verticality. Should be like immediately going to platform here. This is, in my mind, I'm immediately going to platform here. Instead, you stay grounded. Do a bad up air, you get punished, double laser, you're dead. Yep. He's just waiting. He's waiting for you. He's using his positional advantage, he's execution testing you. Like He hard called you out here. Like, that's... You're being so predictable here that he was able to wave dash back and F smash you. That's like how... He's like, I know he's going to up air here. He's not going to hit me. I'm gonna do this. And he destroyed you for it. So you gotta be more patient on ledge too, you know. Use ledge to your full extent, right? You don't have to immediately act out on ledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially this whole lesson has come down to being more patient, mixing up your options better, playing more vertical, using reaction to, like, tech chasing a bit more, and basically not panicking, right? Like it feels like you're very uncomfortable this whole set. Like it almost feels like you're autopiloting this entire set. There's no like there's no intention other than what is the most comfortable option at that point in time. It's like, it's not like I'm going to do this because Falco's at this percentage of this part of the stage that likes to do this. It's, this feels good to do, or I'm hoping he's going to run into this. Which is like, at that point, you're not living in the reality of what's actually happening on the screen. You're not looking at the screen. Or rather, you are looking at the screen, but you're not thinking about what's actually happening on the screen. You're just passively watching. It's like watching, you know, a sitcom, and then you're on your phone at the same time, and you're kind of in and out watching. You know what I mean? That's essentially what this whole set has kind of been like. And it shows, you know, panic options, very, you know, not many moves with intention, a lot of hoping. See, now you're playing more in his face. Again, and the only time you start playing in his face more is when you had invincibility for a second, and like you had ability to actually pressure in a comfortable way, right? The only time you've ever been like actually comfortable in approaching Falco is when you had invincibility. The only time, right here. You approach, try to approach, you're dealing with space good. Right, approach again. And then immediately once you're out and you're in the corner and you have no invincibility, then you start doing your run-up shield grabs. Or your run-up shields. Up air, which catches nothing. Again, why didn't you just nair here? Like, you could have easily have, like, naired, fast fall a second later, and then you would have hit him here. And instead you did, like, a super early up air, in which case he's just waiting underneath platform. And again, he's going to do that too now that he's up 3 stocks. He's not going to give a shit. He's like, I'm just going to wait for him to approach me. Like, I'm going to do whatever I want because I know he can't approach me. So I'm not going to approach him. Why would I do that? I just play right here, and once he's in my range, then I'm going to punish him. And again, this is what I talked about earlier about, I mean, you're down 3 stocks to 1, so everything at this point is a little bit not normal melee, you know what I mean? But the point still stands that you're trying to act as a shield when you shouldn't. Right here. Almost looked like you tried to shield grab him here. Right here. I don't even know if you did. I actually don't know if you did or didn't. But the point is that you didn't wait a second, didn't roll or deal with it, you know. Like, this is the only time he's actually really pressured your shield. What did you do there? Tried to shark him, which is not bad, but again, you gave up all your stage positioning. Instead of like sharking him here, you sharked him here, in which case, and he just easily jumped over it. And you also just gave up stage positioning and then gave Falco, who has 3 stocks, to your 1 center stage. In which case, he's going to take that to the bank, right? He's just going to wait. Crazy nair to side B. It worked, though. Let me see. Yeah, because he thought it was going to hit, but Wispy screwed him. You go for a... he didn't even react. You didn't even hit a read that would have hit anything. Like, you just straight up threw out a bear. Hail Mary bear. Like, you almost... Like, you're like, I think he's going to tech in place, but instead of going for a stomp, which would have covered tech in place and tech away, I decided to go for a back air, which covered only tech in place, which he didn't do, and then put me in an awkward position where I guess I could shark him, but then you don't cover the option off, and you're still back in the corner. Oh, you used the platform for once. Oh my goodness. And then you try to go to top platform, and you air dodge. Good back air. Now you're using dash dancing. That's a good shield grab, right? That right there is a good shield grab. Because he's high enough that you can actually catch him. And then the only thing that you've ever done to kill, which is re-tech away into a knee. That's the only time you've actually gone a good punish off of him, was whenever you teched away. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've killed him like 5 fucking times.
Five times. Like almost every game has been him because he teched away and you red tech away just at that time. And it's you hoping, and it just happens to work out. And the worst part about hoping, and that's my only real gripe that I say a lot, you'll notice a lot of my lessons, is that Melee tends to award options that are bad. And too often too. Stuff like this where it's like, oh, he techs away here, I'm going to go for a knee. And then a lot of Falcons start doing that without actually thinking of why they're doing it. And that kind of idea is very dangerous. Or like that concept is very dangerous because then you start doing things that are bad, like these shield grabs or trying to meet Falco where he is instead of, using your space. Like a lot of that ends up getting rewarded against worse Falcos, like you said, when you play on unranked. But then when you play good Falcos, all of that goes out the window because that's all you it was never you actually playing the player or the game. You're just hoping for things to happen, in which case you get blown up for it, which we can see perfectly fine on the screen right here where you're down 3 stocks to 1. So you have to, it's really difficult to break that mold or those habits. It's not easy to just be like, okay, I'm going to stop shield grabbing. Okay, I'm going to stop, I'm going to start using platforms or whatever. The way I do it, if I ever have a really bad habit, it's either two things. If I'm really, really, really stagnant in my play, I'll take a break for like a week or 2. If I know that it's not necessarily an issue with like my enjoyment or like I'm actually super plateaued, then I start focusing or look at what specifically am I doing bad. In which case, it's like your shield grabs. You're not used to verticality and you're not approaching. So what I do is I'll try and play versus good Falcos, or even on ranked or whatever. But in your case, you need someone who's actually going to punish you for things. Play versus like an expert Falco or something, and try to use verticality a bit more. Like one session, be like, I'm going to try and use the platforms a lot. Then the next session, you play another Falco, you'd be like, okay, I'm not going to shield grab at all. I'm not going to shield grab at all, and I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to try to really kind of wait out my options out of shield. If you need to. Don't always have to wait. But my point is that really try to think about what you're doing out of shield. And then your other one will be, I'm really going to try and focus on approaching Falco and see what works. Now, of course, you can do all of like that approaching with the platforms. You can do that together. But my point is you got to focus on one thing at a time to break that mold. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to stop shield grabbing. I'm going to start using verticality. I'm going to start approaching better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start being more patient on ledge. I'm going to start, reaction tech chasing more. You can't do all that at the same time. So you have to take one thing and apply it and then try and iron that out, or at least get it, working to like some degree of proficiency. And then you move on to another thing. And those things are basically, like I said, using verticality more, using platforms more, reaction tech chasing a bit more, approaching Falco better, not shield grabbing, maybe incorporating CC a little bit more in positions where he's like his back is facing. But like the main ones are definitely verticality, platforms, and the shield grabbing. Those are the main ones, and maybe patience off of ledge. Those are like the 4 main really bad things. But the reaction tech chasing. So 5 main things that you need to really start to like incorporate more. Besides that, like there's obviously smaller things here and there, but like those are the main things. Like you have the tech skill to do a lot of this. I know you're smart enough to know like the issues. It's just applying it is a whole different thing, right?
Right.
playing his space good. But then again, you have kind of like an over reliance on like stationary nairs. You know what I mean? Like that works there. And then you try to do like a stationary, like not really a full drift forward knee, which in my mind is like a stationary knee. Anything that isn't like full drift forward, if they're far away, is like a stationary knee because they're not close enough for it to even hit them, right? If they're close, then it's like you obviously drifted forward. But when you're so far away that like he has enough time to dash away dare, it's basically a stationary knee at that point. You're not covering much. Like look how far away you are from each other. If he was like right here, then that's a little bit different. But in this case, he's already over here. Like he's double the distance of where you're actually targeting to hit. Again, he's just gonna laser, wait, laser, go in. Like he's playing a little bit more aggressive now, it seems. He's using dare a lot more too. And then he nared, he waited. Let me see. Again, you try to go for a frame advantage knee instead of going for like a true tech chase, because you shielded. See, you shielded instead of being like you were like you didn't know if you're gonna hit. You're like hoping this is gonna hit. You didn't think it was gonna hit, and then you shield because you're like, oh no, I didn't know if I hit him or not, and then you miss out on the tech chase. And then you try to go for a frame advantage knee, which is you're not even close to do that. You did catch him though, because you like overshot it past that point, and then you're expecting a roll, which he hasn't done a single time this entire set. So I don't know why there was no reason for him to do it, right? And he's just gonna wait. Good tomahawk grab and knee. That was good. Right, like you waited a second, used your center stage. He came forward because he thought you were gonna hit. Because again, you kept doing a lot of like aerials into corner. So this time is like the first time he actually waited, which was good. He thought, okay, he's gonna probably nair in at me or knee at me. I'm just gonna shield. In which case you tomahawk grabbed him, which is great, which he definitely was not expecting. He thought he could slide off, in which case he didn't, and then he's dead. So that worked out, decently well. If he had teched in, you definitely could have hopefully maybe gotten like the knee into like regrab maybe. At worst, you would have gotten a frame advantage nair or maybe a Rockman knee at that point. But honestly, a Rockman knee hasn't worked a single time versus him because you're either too slow or he's not spot dodging or up tilting there, right? He likes to run away. Somehow you bring this back to last stock. I swear to I don't even know how. Holy shit. Falcon, I guess, is even. Holy crap. Or Falcon favored. But it's crazy. Alright, what'd you do? You rolled, but then instead of like dashing away, you immediately shielded after. So you rolled, in which case you have more than enough room to dash here. And you don't. Instead, you try to shield and then jump out at the same timing, which he catches with a laser. You roll again, which is fine, and then you try to double jump, which you can't do here because he's too close and he's able to actually act on it. So the first situation definitely could have ran away. The second situation, you could have ran away, but instead you double jumped in place, which means that you're now stuck in that spot. If you were to dash away further, you could have easily dashed away, dashed in, grabbed him. And then you double jump, which he's just completely ready for because he's used to it now. Back air. And he's just going to rinse and repeat, and you DI bad, and you're dead. So, do you have any thoughts?
Not right now, but I've written down like everything that to like not do, like the shield grabbing, use more vertical movement, utilize more full hops, double jump more when necessary, but not doing it all the time so that you burn your jump and then they just punish you off of it. Mm-hmm. Wait a little bit more than I should and wait out of shield at different times or use different out of shield timings because obviously there's like I've been using the same timing, like I wait a little bit and then I come out of it. Mm-hmm. Definitely mix those up. I mean, those are mostly the things that I need to work on in general. Oh, and use ledge more. Like work on ledge movement because I definitely did not use that this set.
Mm-hmm.
Try to poke him, like try to like pressure him, like go in a little bit, but don't go two balls on the wall when it comes to like going in.
Mm-hmm.
So like I guess single hit would be better application, but like drift back, single hit in air, see what he would do out of it. Like that's something I would probably should be doing more.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. What I should be doing in like when it comes to neutral. Definitely should be working on reacting more when it comes to punishing and see how they react, like how they tech.
How they tech, how they like
Look
to
at the
deal
tech patterns,
tech
yeah.
patterns, and what they like to do, you know,
Right.
in frame disadvantaged situations, what they like to do. Yeah, that's really what it. Yeah, majority. That's pretty much what you need to work on. Besides that, you know,
It's just crazy how I like noticed that when I was down 3-1, I started applying the shit that we've been talking about, like a little bit of the vertical stuff, and it was working out, and then I brought it back. It's as if like I remembered to do this shit like very last minute.
Yeah, like
it was just something I should not be doing.
You should be playing like that the entire time. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
With more of it, but yeah, like you start to do some of it, which is hilarious, right? Which honestly happens a lot of the times when people are down. They actually start playing the game. They start looking. They're like, okay, I have to stop autopiloting, and then they really try to focus. And the issue is the reason that works is because you get whenever you've gotten yourself into that situation before, you've practiced focusing in that situation subconsciously. And what I mean by that is that you really buckle down and you really try and focus and hone in without forcing yourself to like really like get into the zone. And so it comes out in those kind of situations because that's the only time you actually practice your focus. And it's only because you're doing it subconsciously. It's not like you're consciously like you're consciously doing it to like make a comeback, but you're not consciously thinking I'm practicing focus. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so
I should be practicing it in like all stocks instead of last stock.
Instead of just last stock, exactly, right? Which is really funny actually. I used to do that a lot too. What I used to do a lot in unranked like last year is I would fuck around for like 4 stocks and then I'd practice making comebacks and practicing like I'd do like 4 down 1 stock to 4 and then I would just practice focus. And then I'd start applying that to like every single stock. And that was a lot of fun. And you can kind of do that without unranked because of the fact that like, who cares if you fuck around for 3 stocks and then, actually start to try, right?
Yeah.
So, but the point is not to do that, but it's to practice focusing more and like to be more intentional behind your movement more often. Which is, again, something you need to work on a lot because there's a lot of hoping and there's a lot of praying and there's a lot of delusions. Like, definitely need to sit down like what we did right here and really kind of think about situations more. And you really should always be thinking about Melee. Whenever you watch, you always be thinking about what could have happened, what did happen, why did it happen, like all the time. I'm watching Melee and I'm always thinking about what he could have done instead or what happened or whatever, right? Always. Like, and it happens like instantaneously. It's not something I'm like taking 20 minutes to think about. It's different in VOD analysis because I have to convey that to someone else. But if I'm doing it on my own, like watching Melee, I already know what's about to happen. I already know what could have happened, what did happen, whatever, right? So that's another thing and you probably already do that, but you need to do that like more often, right? You can't just
I definitely don't do that at all. I should definitely do a little bit more VOD analysis and just applying that way of thinking.
Right, like more often, right? Like, and it doesn't even have to be to your own gameplay. It can be to other people's gameplay. But it's definitely most beneficial to your own gameplay because like I was giving Studebaker Hoach a lesson the other day, and the guy knows a lot about the game. He's very knowledgeable about concepts and about awareness, but applying it in game is a completely different thing. Like he definitely has he definitely has difficulty applying it in game, right? Which is why he wanted to get a lesson in the first place. But he has, like, every time I point something out, he would like give me an idea of what he could have done maybe instead. But he wasn't applying it to the degree in which he needed to do so, right?
Right.
But yeah, no. Overall, I mean, you got things you need to work on, which we outlined. I'm gonna stop the recording now.